Hello, welcome to Empower and Ignite Transformation podcast with Alicia and Nicole. How are you, Alicia?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
I am doing well. I am doing well. It is beautiful outside. We are now in August. Listen, um, and still hot and beautiful. Because when I think about being in August, I'm like, time is going so fast.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
getting scared because I love summer. Um,
Mhm.
and so that is my favorite season. And I just don't want it to go away.
Me, I'm looking forward to the fall. I like a good jacket. You can give me a sweater. I do not like being hot. I'm kind of looking forward to the fall actually.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
like the
definitely.
fall, but it's not my favorite season, but I do like the fall.
Yeah.
When we actually get to experience full fall. I feel like
Mhm.
in Michigan, of course, it just like the seasons blend, and before
Mhm.
you know it, fall is looking like winter.
That is so true. And the funny part about this is I tell people all the time, you have never seen a beautiful fall until you have seen a Michigan fall because of all the trees and the changing of the colors. It's so beautiful. So, yeah, looking forward to coming up and, seeing the fall in Michigan for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait for you to come home. Listen, you're home. Uh, so I am wanting to say, because I always forget, if you are new to our channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't just watch, but we want you to subscribe and we want you to share to others, with others, and like. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And also, do not forget to check us out on social media. We are on TikTok and Instagram at Empower Ignite and then the number two.
Yeah, we're growing too, so I'm excited about that,
That's
right?
super exciting.
Listen, sharing information, and of course, we are therapists, but we do not provide therapy on our channel. Sometimes we got to throw that disclaimer in there, so people are aware. But it is educational, and it is where you will just have knowledge and information and how you can live the life that you desire. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's jump in it.
Okay, so today's topic, right? I'm, of course, excited about it. But it is, are you one to acknowledge your achievements, right?
Mm,
So often I notice where people will identify all of the things that they want to achieve or what they haven't gotten done. They identify with where they're not at versus where they come from, all of the things that they have accomplished. And that can put a person in a state of whether not feeling enough or just sad because they're like, I want to achieve this, this, and this versus acknowledging all of the things that they have accomplished thus far.
yeah, that's a good point, right? And I think that I'm very, very bad. I struggle with this, right? In a
Okay.
sense of, understanding like the ultimate goal may not have been reached, but we did little goals because we're making our way to that bigger goal, and that's
Mhm.
okay. And sometimes it feels like, you know, a lot of times, right? And especially, I feel like I don't know if it's my age range as well, but you get a lot of that FOMO, right? You thinking that everybody else is just moving past you and you're just kind of just stuck and you're not moving. And you want to like, oh well, how did they get so far? And am I doing enough? And then that comparison, right? And
Yeah.
we know comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
So it comes back to that. Like, what am I doing enough? Should I be doing more? So I can completely understand this is a great topic because I feel like a lot of people we come back to that. We come back to the sense of being stuck between two thoughts. Am I doing enough or should I be doing more?
Yeah, definitely. And then I think that when you think about even saying I see other people doing this or they may be in this particular space or, accomplish this by this time frame. But progress looks different for everybody.
Hey.
Yeah. And so not to compare, we know that we've talked about that in other episodes, like how comparison robs you.
Mm-hmm.
Um and enjoying the journey. But when you think about just the progress you've made over time, it's so important to be able to identify these are the things that I've accomplished. This is where I'm at now. And I'm still moving. I'm still in the direction that I'm wanting to go in. I haven't given up. That piece.
Yeah, I think that that makes a good point too. Like you said, that piece is really important because that piece is almost it is acknowledging that gratitude in a sense of acknowledging like, okay, there is room for more, but I can recognize the good that I have right now, that I have achieved right now. And
Right.
that's okay. That's definitely okay.
Yeah.
So in general, right? What do we do? Like, what do you do to kind of acknowledge this gratitude?
So definitely for me, I am one to think about all the things that I'm grateful for, right?
Okay.
So on a daily basis, but that's a practice for
Mhm.
me. So I'm like, even if I catch myself, like, because we're human, so of course we can catch ourselves in our thoughts of, okay, I wanted this done by this time frame, or this isn't complete. But I'm so much in gratitude throughout the day of, oh, I'm thankful that I was able to get this taken care of. Or, okay, this did move the needle, a little bit, right? So I think that it's so important. And one tip is maybe at the end of the night, like just kind of, can I jot down three things that I'm grateful for, that I'm thankful that I accomplished today? Can
Yeah.
I really reflect and look back on how the day went? And the things that I'm thankful for throughout this day, and waking up in the morning in gratitude, right? I feel like creating a practice of gratitude, like, okay, I'm waking up, I'm thankful for another day. I'm thankful for the gift of today.
Yeah.
It's a gift.
It is. It is. And so it's basically what I'm hearing. You just take time to acknowledge the little things as like, we forget waking up is a privilege. Unfortunately, some don't, right? And
Mhm.
so we forget to just acknowledge how thankful we are
Yeah,
and how that is, okay. Like it's okay that I don't like it, like I think it's really interesting how as us as humans, how we always push to our next goal. We never kind of just sit and just enjoy the moment of what we have achieved. We just keep pushing. And
yeah,
it's like no matter if the ultimate goal was to get this job, it's like, okay, well now what's next, right? We always like what's next, and I always like to remind myself and my friends life is short, and where do we take the time to really sit back and smell the roses,
yeah,
because that is so important to do, is to be able to say, I didn't just work, I didn't just take care of people. I didn't just do this, that, and the other. I actually enjoyed life. Life was
right.
something that made me smile, not something that the entire time was, work and chasing a goal.
Yeah. So you're saying being present. That's what
Being
you're saying. Like,
present.
hey, being in a present moment allows you to smell the roses, allows you to acknowledge the accomplishments, not just checking it off the list and moving to the next, but
Hmm.
really sitting in, wow,
Yeah, yeah.
I did
And I,
this.
and I think it's important to know that, even sitting in it in that wow does not mean later on, you don't go and chase the next goal. Like that's not what, this is. This is just acknowledging the wow
Yeah,
and just saying, wow, I did that.
yeah,
And I like it. I'm grateful that I made it to that level of, the success or
definitely.
goal. So yeah,
I know for
definitely.
me, I'm thinking about the saying, everybody should toot their own horn. And maybe that's an old saying because I heard someone a reel where she's like, "Are you like popping what you do, like popping what you have accomplished, like kind of like, pop your collar, right? Like kind of like, hey, I've achieved this. I've done this. I'm here in this space. I am this person." Because it doesn't have to all be about you know, material things or accomplishing and achieving the next thing. It could just be growth in you,
Yeah.
like acknowledging where you are, where you come from, and
Hmm.
how far you've come.
Hmm.
That's important because people can dwell on a negative, and you be thinking like, why dwell on what you don't have or dwell on how is that serving you
Yeah.
when you do that?
And I think it's a difference in tooting your own horn because I feel like people fall into the idea of if they toot their own horn, they're bragging or,
What's
they're,
wrong with bragging?
but right, like, and there's a difference in actually tooting your own horn, then in a sense of bragging to put someone else down for whatever, right? Like, it's nothing wrong with boosting yourself and having that confidence. It's nothing wrong with if you want to tell the world you did something small, like I reached the extra mile on my running. Tell the world. Don't think of the other, sometimes they're going to be the other person who's like, oh, I'm mad or hating or got that.
Oh,
No,
Alicia. Oh
be
my
just
God.
you.
Go ahead. I
Oh
got a thought.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
So what you saying is don't dim your light so somebody
Mhm.
else can shine.
Correct.
So you saying, listen, we're not telling you to be arrogant as if you're better than someone else,
That's
but
the
we're
word.
telling you to acknowledge you. It's
Correct.
okay to acknowledge you.
Yes. It's
It
okay.
doesn't mean that that's negative, but you're right. So many people won't toot their horn. So many
Mhm.
people think that that may come off as prideful or boastful or, I don't want somebody to think that I'm bragging. But
Yeah.
if you don't brag on you, I heard this saying. I don't know sayings, right? But when I hear them, like, you know how old school people might say something and you like, what? What does that mean,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So I used to work, of course, I used to work for the state of Michigan. So one of my colleagues would be like, it's a poor dog that don't wag his own tail.
I mean,
And I'm like, what? But I got it. It's a
yeah.
poor dog that don't wag his own tail, meaning if you won't acknowledge, won't brag on you, won't say nothing about you,
Hmm.
that's a shame. That is a poor, of course, nobody's a dog, but it's a saying. So
Right.
it's
Figures.
like like, but I got it. I was like,
Mhm.
what, y'all used to say some stuff back in the day.
Ain't that the truth? But I think that's so true. And then, we always never acknowledge how much that could motivate somebody else. You talking, you showing how grateful you are to be able to do something, or like you said, wag that tail and you just put it out there to the world. That might motivate someone, right? That might
Yeah.
change someone's entire perspective on, let's just go back to working out, right? It
Hmm.
might make me like, okay, if she out
If
here doing
she
5
can
miles,
do it,
I can at least do one. Let's go, right?
yeah.
So
And
I
it's
think
not competition. It's seeing
mm,
somebody else do something you want.
it's
You know
motivation,
it's obtainable because you
right?
saw it. You saw it accomplished through somebody else.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they're no greater than you.
correct.
All
And
they
that
did was
motivation
did the
is
work.
and that motivation just kind of push you to, reach the goal because again, if I seen it, it's something that interested me that I was already was in my mind of something I wanted to do,
Mhm.
just haven't done it. And that motivation was like, wow, she's absolutely, so right. That can be done, And so I just think that, being able to put that out there, practice that gratitude and, not being afraid to toot your own horn. That's
Yeah.
important. That's important. And then if you still have another goal after, go for that goal too. And then stop right
Right.
there and toot your horn again because you
Yeah.
made it.
Because I noticed that when you are achieving things, when you acknowledge it, it builds confidence.
Yes.
And so it allows you to know that you're capable.
Hmm.
And that's so important. So you can walk in confidence and boldness in achieving the long-term goals.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I think that, building confidence and having that confidence, once you reach those goals, it helps when life gives you a hit, right?
Yeah.
Because, always talk about, our cups and how we have to keep filling it. And sometimes life hits the cups and water pours out and we have to refill it. So that helps fill our cups because we have a confidence. So when life hits us with a unexpected, whatever it is, right? Then
Mhm.
it's like, okay, I tripped, but I didn't fall. So let's keep going. Right.
Right.
And so that's where it's kind of, importance to have that balance where you are appreciative and grateful and not afraid to say who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Walking in your true identity of who you are, right? Knowing
Hmm.
that as a human, you would experience times of needing to replenish, like really getting some rest, and not just always checking everything off the list, and giving yourself that time to just sit in it,
Hmm.
breathe,
Yeah.
smell the roses, like you said, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
those accomplishments matter.
It does. I
It
think.
helps, yeah, with even you just really thinking about how do you feel once you achieve something, right? It's
Hmm.
it makes you feel good about yourself,
Yeah.
and so that's a good thing. You validate you when you accomplish something. So we don't want to dismiss and don't want to not acknowledge.
Right. And I think that that's important. We don't want to do that. We just don't want to just, even if we don't, right? We don't make the goal, or let's just say something didn't go as planned. Is there room to be grateful, to be able to say, I learned a lesson in this, to be able to try again? I learned a lesson in this that changed my perspective. You know, is there still a way to be grateful, even if we don't actually
Uh-huh.
meet the ultimate goal?
Right. I think it's always a way to be grateful. I think it's
Okay.
always something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
The fact that you were able to think of the idea and want to achieve it is something that you should be grateful for.
Mhm.
You know, the attempts you should be grateful for.
Mhm. Because how many times we have an idea and don't act on it? And so
Mhm.
the thought that you did, right, act on it, even though it may not have went, I'm grateful, right? I'm grateful. And then, the lesson learned, that is always a part of it, right? And a lot of us don't like the hard lessons that life teaches us, but sometimes those hard lessons is putting us in a position to go forward, right? And teaching us that resilience. And so can we still, there is ways to still be grateful. We just have to look at the situation, take ourselves out of it and look at it from that bird eye view to say, okay, this could have been a lot worse,
Yeah,
and I know how to make it better next time.
yeah. And even in like, so people sometimes think you will be grateful only if it's accomplished already, or
Hmm.
you wait until it's accomplished and then that's when you are in gratitude. No,
Hmm.
you're grateful that you're able to do the work to get to where you want to go. You're grateful about having the wherewithal and even just step by step knowledge of how I'm going to get to what it is that I'm trying to achieve. Don't wait till something is achieved to be thankful for it and grateful. You
Hmm.
want to be grateful on the journey.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think that that's a big part, is the being grateful. I think if we practice it along the journey, when we get to that end, we would understand the idea of just sitting in that gratitude, right? And so, yeah, I think definitely along the journey, keep stopping and show gratitude. I mean, again, we talked about when you wake up, we
Yeah.
should just be grateful that we had the
Mhm.
opportunity to do that, you
The
know?
gift of another day.
Yeah, right, right, for sure. And I think that's, even with relationships with people, right? Do we show gratitude there? Because again, if a friend just listening to your problems, can you say thank you? Like, just a sense of gratitude, like just
Right.
being able to show that gratefulness of having a good friend who is there for you, who will just listen, right?
Right.
And
I'm
just
grateful for support.
right,
Yeah.
right. And don't be so, well, they didn't give me the right answers or they didn't give me the right suggest.
Yeah.
Just I had a friend who could listen and wanted to be there. And I'm just grateful.
Yes. Because really, if you honest, people oftentimes give you the answer from their perspective and their mindset. So hopefully you can take advice, of course, but you also have to know that they may not know and they may not have the answer for you because it's not for them to give you the answer. We only can give what is in us.
Right, right.
And so that piece of just knowing that, that's something to be thankful for.
Right. And that's so true. That is so true. It's just knowing that they can only give what they have in a sense of experience, knowledge. What I can, because some situations are speechless, right? Some situation, friend, I don't know what to say, but I'm here for you, right?
Yeah, I'm going to
Like,
support you in your walk with whatever it is that you need to, make a decision on, or even as you progress in what it is that you're wanting to achieve. I'm your cheerleader off to the side. I'm going to support how I can and show up how I can, but that's the capacity that I have.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah. So
definitely.
definitely that. I'm hoping that people realize it's so important to acknowledge your accomplishments. Do not dismiss, diminish what you've achieved thus far. Do not compare yourself to others,
Mm-hmm.
but really being in gratitude of how far you've come so you can know that it's attainable and achievable for you to go further.
Definitely, definitely. I think that that's the biggest thing is, knowing that you are able to go forward, but being grateful does not mean contentment. That's
Right.
all we are saying. You can be grateful where you are and still be pushing for a bigger, whatever it is, goal, accomplishment, miles per hour.
Yeah,
Whatever. Yeah.
definitely. And if you catch yourself not being able to stay in a state of gratitude and you going to be negative about where you're not at or what you don't have or haven't achieved, I want you to ask yourself, how is that serving me?
Mm.
What am I gaining from doing that?
Most likely stress,
Mm-hmm.
anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
fatigue,
Yeah.
all those things, you
Yeah.
might feel
It can
stuck.
even be sadness.
Right.
You know, it can lead to depression sometimes, depending on how long you stay in a state of sadness. All
Correct.
because you're wanting to stay on what you haven't
Hmm.
achieved or what you don't have versus looking at what you do have and being in gratitude about that.
Correct. Because and then I think that, it goes back to remembering to be present and smelling the roses because, if you're focused so much on just the one thing that isn't working correctly and that you like, hey, this is not right, you're missing other things in your life that is going on that we can cherish, right? So,
Yeah,
let's say it's a kid graduation. I'm supposed to be there present mentally and happy, but I'm over here worried about a felon business, right?
right.
I have to practice gratitude of practicing in the sense of staying in that moment where I could be present and celebrate and be happy over here. I understand there's a fire going on. We're not ignoring that, but we're being grateful because of this moment right here. And
Mhm.
that is a real moment. Now, after the party is over, you may run in that house and get back to what you need to get back, maybe, right?
Yeah.
But it's being present, and being present, allow you to just be grateful and just be just happy just for that moment.
Yeah. So being in the present moment, acknowledging where you've come from and where you're going so you are clear, but just really being able to acknowledge all accomplishments. Don't diminish or say that's too small, or I'm not going to acknowledge anything until I achieve the big thing, whatever that is. And being grateful for everything, even when
Mhm.
you don't
Yeah, yeah,
understand it.
definitely.
Yeah. Because every lesson, every experience, life is a teacher. So it really is where you learn through every experience. Hopefully, you get the lesson. Sometimes people got to repeat. They like, listen, I didn't get the lesson the first time. So hopefully, you get it the first time.
That's okay too. Sometimes that's okay too.
Yeah,
Whatever is kind of going to be that works for you. Sometimes we do
definitely.
need to hit our heads a few times for us to be like, there goes the lesson, and now I got it. But it's okay. It's okay. The whole point is you got it.
Over time, you got it.
Right? So that's important because it definitely show growth. And that's all we
Yeah.
want to strive for in each stage, right? Is growth.
Right.
You just want to keep growing, being
Hmm.
happy, and making the most out of this life.
Yes, because you are always hopefully evolving and wanting to evolve and grow. So that's so key. And listen, the gratitude of a gift of every day is a gift. So you get to do it over again. You get to start over. You get to accomplish new things
Yeah.
every new day.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
So definitely, I hope this helps somebody for sure. I'm hoping that it really is where people start to think about all of the things that they have accomplished and be in gratitude about those things and not focus on what they haven't achieved or always run into the next just to check things off the list. Life is a journey and to be enjoyed.
I love that. I love that. I think you just almost just ended that so perfectly. Like you just said that
Okay.
so great. Right?
Listen, so once again, if you guys are new to our channel, please subscribe, like, and share. Until next time.